Hi, I'm Meg from Cook with Meg, and today we are in the kitchen. We are about to make a batch of French toast sticks. These are amazing. We did a free class where we taught how to make these. I was on CTV Morning Live in Edmonton making these. They're so popular, I wanted to bring them to you. So here we go. Let's get some softened butter. This is very, very squishy, soft butter. Mine happens to be salted. You can use salted or unsalted. And to that, we need to add some brown sugar. We need to add some cinnamon and a teeny tiny pinch of salt. So let's start with the brown sugar. Brown sugar, let's move it right over here. Did you guys know that brown sugar is actually white granulated sugar with the addition of molasses? And you can see with clean hands, I kind of get in there and poke around a little bit because see this nugget? That's a nugget of sticky molasses that sometimes brown sugar does that. So if you ever have brown sugar that sticks or becomes a bit clumpy, you can actually take a piece of white bread, pop it right in your container and let it rest, even just a few hours. Magic disappears. It's pretty fantastic. Oh, it doesn't disappear. The bumps disappear. The bread gets really hard because it takes all the moisture, and then your brown sugar is back to squishy, which is perfect. All right, so I don't know about you guys, but I would eat just this. We've done this before. Literally brown sugar butter. I mean, that alone is unbelievable. Now we're gonna add some cinnamon. So about a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Again, this is going to make 4 sticks. You can absolutely increase. So I've got 1/4 cup of butter, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and I wanna add a pinch of salt. Salt is one of those things that we definitely always wanna add a little bit, even when we're doing something that's sweet. It heightens the flavor. It helps bring out the flavors. It just makes everything taste a little more bright. Even if it's sweet, you want to make the sweet sweeter. I know that sounds funny to add salt to make something sweeter, but it really does help bring out the flavors. All right, so check this out. Super ooey gooey, glorious with a clean hand. Do I dare? Yes, I do. Oh, you know what? I would just eat that on bread. I would just eat that on toast. I'd eat that on bread. Okay, so filling, check, complete. Cinnamon sugar duster that we're gonna dust these in when they come out, that's together. That's literally just a little bit of granulated white sugar with a little bit of cinnamon, just like we'd make for cinnamon toast. But now we need to prepare our bread. So there are 2 ways that you can prepare the bread. We want this to be flat as a pancake. And I don't know why that expression exists because I like my pancakes to be super fluffy, but we're gonna go flat. So you can take a little rolling pin and you can flatten out your bread. It's actually like a really good stress reliever. We'll do it that way. Let's flatten all of them first. Give it a little roll. There's 2. If a little bit of the crust falls off, that's fine. We actually are going to cut the crusts off. Okay, there's 3. Again, if you're making a whole pile of these, maybe you have a family of 4 and everybody wants 2, you're gonna double this batch. You can absolutely make extra. These go into the fridge beautifully. They also freeze beautifully. So if you really wanted to freeze them, you could make a big batch. Let's leave that there, but now I'm gonna cut the crusts off. And it's actually kind of easier to cut the crusts once you have smushed the bread. If there is, throw that in the sink for now, clean that up later. If you will see, how fun is that? You definitely still have a little edge of brown of crust. Totally fine, completely fine. In fact, truth be told, if you wanted to leave the crusts on, you absolutely could. They don't need to be cut. Oliver, it's not for you. My dog Oliver. He's a very big part of the Cook with Meg world, and he often needs to be a part of the action. And then let's do the last one. We're getting very close to the edges. You really want to just cut that darker part of the crust off. Again, if you have little bits kind of sticking out in the corners, completely fine. If you want to use your hands to get it even pressed further, go for it. Don't ever put your knife in the sink. We'll put that back there. We will clean that later. And I just noticed that this guy actually is still a little bit, he's still a little puffy on one side. That's the cool thing about a little rolling pin, whatever size rolling pin you have. You can roll, you can cut the ends off, crusts off, and then you can roll again. So we want a super flat surface, and then when you get these all rolled out, we are going to start to spread the filling. So let's get the filling spread onto our bread, and then we'll move to step number 3. Be right back. Okay, we are back. We now know that we need to take all of this glorious filling and we need to put a little dollop in the center of each one. So what you can do is you can pre-dollop all of them, or you can do one at a time. So if I have this little offset spatula, do you need one of these? No, it definitely makes it a little easier, but you can use a knife, you can use the back of a spoon. We really are just spreading that glorious filling to almost the 4 corners. You'll see what I mean in a second. It does get a little ooey gooey when we roll these up. So I sometimes like to leave a little bit of a border. If you end up having a little bit of this paste or filling left over, do not worry. You can spread a little bit on top of each one when they come out of the frying pan. You can absolutely save that because it makes an incredible toast topper, pancake topper, French toast topper. So yeah, I would say that I've got, let's see, how much do I have left? And this was just using a 1/4 cup. There, I've got about enough to make a couple more. So if you wanted to do 6, maybe not 4, but 6, go for it. So now what we have, let me give my hands a little rinse here. Now we need to roll these babes up. So very simple. We're gonna start from kind of where your tummy is at the edge of the counter, and we're just going to sort of press gently. We don't wanna break the bread. And we're gonna roll it into a stick. Now you may see a little bit of the filling squish out. Don't worry about it. What I do is I kind of go boop, boop, and roll it onto the board so it seals it, and then we'll put it seam side down. Kids can help with this whole process, kids can do it together with families. So push and roll, be gentle yet firm. Rolling, and kind of like that, pull it back. When you pull it back, you're also helping to create the seam. So in a sense, when we cook these, they are going to taste like a churro meets a cinnamon roll. They get ooey gooey in the center. They're unbelievable. And what's really neat about these is you can fry up a whole bunch of them, and then you could absolutely put them into the freezer and just toast them, not in the toaster, I guess, warm them up or put them back into a frying pan. And there you have it. Seam side down, finished with the cutting board. Let's just put that over here. This is definitely a multiple hand wash situation because your hands will get a little ooey gooey. And there we have our sticks. So maybe you've made 4, maybe you've made 6, 8, 10, 12. You can be the judge. I'm going to set them back here for just a second because now we are going to get our dip ready to go. Of course, the star of the show would be eggs. So whether you use 1, 2, or 3 large eggs, let's get those cracked and in a bowl. Today I'm just using a couple. I may end up deciding that I want to do a little bit more bread, and you can absolutely assemble, see what you have for filling, and then use more if necessary. It depends on the size of your bread. I just used regular sandwich bread, but if you have a different size bread, you get the drift. All right, so a couple of large eggs. We're gonna give those a poke, and we're gonna give that a whisk. We really want the whites or the albumin of the egg to mix seamlessly with the yolks. So the whites are where you're getting the protein, so good for you. The yolks are where you're getting the fat, that good fat, a lot of the vitamins. Very, very nutritious. So just a couple of eggs. And then I do have about a tablespoon of milk. I'm probably gonna put about a half a tablespoon of milk down in. We don't wanna dilute it too much, but you do wanna stretch the mixture out, and adding a little bit of milk, any kind of milk or milk beverage that you use, is great. Stretches it out, makes it a little creamier. And then of course, a little bit of vanilla. Up to a teaspoon, I would say. It automatically smells amazing. I love it. And I am gonna go in with a little pinch of cinnamon. Not very much cinnamon because we've got cinnamon in that filling. We also are going to coat these after in a little bit of cinnamon sugar, so we don't want to overload the cinnamon, and a little does go a long way. We're also not adding sugar to this, but I will tell you that if I were just making a regular French toast custard, we'd call this a custard, I would likely add a bit of brown sugar or white sugar to this. I like a little bit of sweetness so that my French toast has a little bit of custard, vanilla, cinnamon sweetness already to it, but I'm not adding any sugar. It does not need it. All right, so now what we have, I like to call this stations. Let's grab a knife. Let's bring our French toast sticks nearby. Get this all set up. I have my induction burner, love it, easy, so easy. I also need a spatula, and I need some tongs. Really good to have in the kitchen, tongs especially to turn these over. So we're just gonna set that here. I am going to turn my burner on. We're getting ready to cook, and we're going to add some butter to the frying pan. These are so fun, they're decadent. We want them to bubble, we want them to look golden and fabulous. So I'm actually gonna go in with about a tablespoon of butter. If you wanna add up to 2 tablespoons, you can. We're gonna give that a moment. We're not gonna dredge or put our sticks yet into the egg mixture. They're gonna get a quick dip, and then they're going to start frying until they are beautiful and golden. I'm so excited. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to switch my camera. I'm gonna bring it closer, and I'm gonna tilt it down so you can see them frying. So bear with me, we'll be right back. Join me when this is bubbling and boiling, and we will get our French toast churro sticks frying. Okay friends, what I want you to take a look at, this induction burner does heat up rather quickly, but I've got my butter all on the bottom of the pan. You can see that it's starting to get a little bubbly and a little creamy. So what I want to do now is I want to take my eggy mixture, and I want to very carefully dip my French toast stick. Can you see that it's being dipped and slightly rolled? We're going to place it seam side down. Let's get all 4 of them. You can see that I'm not in here for very long. The egg mixture is going to coat the outside. It's not going to go all the way to the inside. We don't want it to completely make this very, very, very soggy. I can hear it sizzling. Give it a little bit of a tap as it comes out. You can see I do have a little bit of egg left over, so I could certainly do a couple more, and we'll go there. For now, this can go over here. Give my hands a quick rinse. Beautiful. So now that they are in the pan, they are looking amazing. We are just going to let them do their thing. I have the heat on medium, so my burner goes 1 to 10. It is an induction burner, which heats up very quickly, and this is just a large frying pan with a nice heavy bottom. This is on about a 5.5, so I definitely don't want these to burn, but I want to give them ample time to get super golden on all sides. So my recommendation is just to leave them be for about a minute to 2 minutes. We are starting to see some steam rise up. We're starting to see big bubbles around. And what I always do is kind of go for the first one very carefully. Wow, can you see the golden? Once you start to see some golden, we're going to give it a little bit of a, I would say like a quarter turn. We can absolutely put them a little bit close together. That's also like a really neat way so that they don't fall over, but we are allowing each side to griddle and each side to get nice and golden. The key here is patience. You definitely may want to dive right in, but we're going to just have some patience, let them bubble, let them fry. It smells absolutely unbelievable in here. It smells like an ice cream factory. Like it smells like a cinnamon bakery. It smells like cinnamon buns, the butter, the sugar, the cinnamon. Wow. So again, time for the check. There we go. We're getting that nice golden. So we're going to do another quarter turn. You want nice color. Again, if they want to fall down, just sort of shimmy them closer to each other. If you feel like your butter needs to kind of come back to the middle, pick that back up a little bit. So I would say that in total, these are going to cook for about 6 minutes, maybe a minute to 2 minutes on each side. So maybe 6, 7 minutes, 8 total. But it just depends. It depends on your pan. It depends on the bread. It depends on how stuffed you made them. We want them to be super golden on all 4 sides. And you can absolutely go back and you can redo a side if you're feeling like one side didn't get as caramelized as you want. Go back, flip it over again. Can you see that they're starting to take on sort of a churro appearance? This guy doesn't want to flip. There you go. Oh, I totally am so wanting to eat these right away. Now, there is one thing that sometimes I will do, and that's to sear, we'll call it searing, the ends. If you want, you can pick it up with your tongue and you can very carefully hold it up. See what I'm doing? And we're kind of cooking the outer side. If you want, you do not need to. Depends how comfortable you are with tongs. We don't want to squish them, but if you want to sort of seal the ends in, you can absolutely do that. What I like to do is just sort of flip them on to over to all sides and do a color check. Kind of like a fit check. We're just giving a little sense. See, that guy's getting pretty golden. He needs a flip. You might have a hot spot in your pan. meaning one area of your pan might be way hotter. So let them take a dip. If you find it's getting really dark, you may have to adjust your heat. You may have to turn your heat down slightly. I would say that these are practically finished. So I'm gonna give them 30 more seconds, and then we are going to put them on our plate, and we are then going to dust them with cinnamon sugar, and they are finished. Okay, we're gonna turn them off. We're gonna place them on my plate. They're gorgeous. I'll meet you back here in 1 sec. Okay, here we are. We have our gorgeous churro French toast sticks. The last thing that we are going to do is just give them a little shimmy of cinnamon sugar. If you want to give them a little roll in the sugar, you can put a little extra sugar down on your plate. Maybe this is the rolling plate. Give them a little bit of a dusting, if you will. And that is complete. They're very hot, but if I hold one up so you can see, look at this. Should we have a bite? Yeah, we should. Here we go. OMG. Okay. This might be the creamiest, fluffiest. It's like, even though the bread was completely smushed, it got so fluffy. It really truly feels like eating a churro. It's creamy. It's not overly sweet. It's buttery, but the best, it's eggy. It's like French toast meets a cinnamon bun, meets a churro, and there you have it. I hope that you have fun making your cinnamon churro French toast sticks. What a perfect fun family activity. Enjoy. For more with me, cookwithmeg.com. And as always, a huge thanks to the Egg Farmers of Alberta. You can find more super fun recipes, eggs.ab.ca. Okay, I have to go. I have to eat my churro sticks. Bye, everyone.